Next on the Love You More Show.
But me and Mike used to go to this little Goodwill in a good neighborhood.
Oh,
it's
you
like
gonna
a
tell
thrift
him
store.
all of the stories.
Because Mike always been flashy and fly. And I used
But
to
I was broke.
Oh,
Okay.
both was broke. Both was broke.
That's why when people talk about the spit hitting the fan and people losing and followers going, I don't care nothing about nobody leaving.
Yeah, when you did that, you know I know your little brother in there.
Yeah, Brent.
I said, you done spit on bread. What support did you offer Natalie in the midst of the expansion that God was doing? Because I know there comes a time in marriage where it's like, I didn't really ask for all of
None
this.
of it. The first thing I did when I became the pastor is I got up on the stage and I said, she's not y'all first lady. I said, she's mine.
I like that.
Everything's blowing up. Every conference that I ever wanted to speak at or go to, they're asking me to speak at. All this stuff is happening. And then God says, cancel all of 2019.
At the peak of it.
I'm about to see the world. And God was like, cancel it all. Your wife is depressed and she needs you now or you're going to lose her.
Man.
Love you more.
Hey family, your nephew Willie Moore Jr. and welcome to another amazing opportunity to hang out with me and an amazing guest on the Love You More Show. $100 fine if you call it a podcast. Let's get that out the way. Family, I'm excited about this moment because the truth is there are so many people who have been waiting for us to drop the fourth wall with one of the most influential voices of our time. So before we do that, can you do me a real quick favor? Can you subscribe to this channel real quick? Many of you all have been perusing and I've been getting a lot of messages from people like, I love what you're doing. Praise Jesus. And others, I got your message too. But I want to challenge you right now to make sure that you subscribe to this channel because the truth is, I believe that there's always going to be something that's transformative that we do here on the show. And it's going to get just a little messy too sometimes, okay? Not today, but traditionally, I like to dig a little deeper than normal, okay? Well, the man that I'm hanging out with today, to many of you all, he is your internet pastor. For some, he's like literally transformed your life. For me, I had the opportunity for a very long time to call him friend. And not one of them, once everybody gets to this mountaintop where we just kind of connect. And although there are some people that I call marathon people, if you ever run a marathon, you know about that 10th mile, the people that you started with, they're not there anymore. And you start looking around and you meet new people. So the 10th mile people on your marathon, of course, I think you guys are great. But I got a chance to meet him when I first got saved. I mean, I was fresh off of Lil Wayne, Young Jeezy, and I was Pretty Willie. And I was traveling to Tulsa, Oklahoma for real, I'll tell you the truth. I was doing a club date because I needed about $7,500 because I was broke. And I snuck and did a club date. They ended up not letting me do the club date because it rained. It was like some storm. And I ended up in church at Greenwood Christian Center. And I started to tell my testimony to this guy named Pastor Michael, not this particular Pastor Michael. And when I started my testimony, he said, can you come outside and tell them? I was like, to all them people outside? They said, yes. And I went out, I told my testimony. And for months and months, I traveled to Tulsa, Oklahoma. And I worked with this guy who just was so humble. He had this ministry called So Fly, and I had this ministry called Young Fly and Save. But we loved Jesus so much, we combined our forces and we took over Tulsa at a very, very young age. He was so humble that he actually decided to do the sound to make sure our music sound right. I remember saying, Mike, turn me up, turn this mic up, and he would be in the back making sure that we were okay. Today, you get the opportunity to call him Young America's pastor. Mike Todd in the building with your nephew.
Yikes. I ain't never had no intro like that, man.
Damn, look at you.
Look at you.
Look what God did.
Look what he did, bro.
I'm probably going to crown this.
Don't do that, bro. I mean, I'm really, 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 really grateful for this moment. If this show stopped right now, the fact that me and you are sitting here, that there's production, that there's people on the other side of these cameras, that we made it through a lot of low times and high times, and we're still able to help people. Yeah. Because that's all it was in the north side of Tulsa. Like, they think this was like some like affluent situation we was in. We was in the hood.
What was that church that was really popping though? It's probably still popping. It was like, no disrespect, it was like the Caucasian church.
Uh-huh.
I won't say the name of it, but it was a church that was popping.
There you go. That was smart of you.
So when I came, I forgot. I'm learning. Words count.
Yes.
So, but I remember they was like, are you here for that? I'm like, no, I'm at Greenwood. That's like, oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Like, because nobody believed. Nobody thought it was possible that 2 miles away from the race massacres, where the race massacres happened in 1921, where there's been devastation for over 100 years, that anything good can come from there. Yeah. And I mean, both of us accidentally wound up in the same place at the same time. It was a divine collision. And we just brought everything that we knew. We brought music, we brought comedy, we brought everything that we had. Mess ups, mistakes, our damage. We brought everything. Yeah. And then we just was trying to help people. And for some reason, it worked. And it worked. Shout out to Bishop Gary McIntosh for trusting us.
Listen, Pastor Gary McIntosh, can I just say thank you publicly? Yeah. I remember the first time, I don't know if you remember this, but I think we almost blew out the speakers. So that's why you had to come in. I think we did.
We blew out the
speakers. And I knew it was over. I knew he was just going to say, okay, it's over. We tried the youth thing. We're just done. Yeah. He came in the back because I think about 78 people gave their life to Jesus that night. And he came in the back, and I was kind of ducking because, I was like, this white dude finna end all of this. You know what I mean? Because Gary McIntosh, white guy, I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, never seen this. And he says, well, we'll just have to get some more speakers. Yep. You guys didn't break anything. Yeah. Let's try it again in 2 weeks. Yep. I said, let's try it again in 2 weeks.
And they got new speakers, and we made sure that they could handle what we was doing on Sunday nights. And we saw a lot of people's lives changed in that season. And it was so cool because a lot of people, like you said, they are around when you ascend. Yeah. But they're not there when you take off. Man. And it was super cool to be a part of your takeoff and you be a part of my takeoff. Oh, and I didn't even know I was taking off, and you didn't even really know you was taking off.
I knew you was taking off.
No, you didn't.
Let me tell you when I knew you was taking off. And I think we need to probably start an interview. We just ain't talk yet. But let me just say this, and then we're going to go our format. To my producers, I'm sorry. I'm running off time, and I know they gave me a time. I'm going to do it. But it was a time they were doing an encounter. Yeah. You had on a black jacket.
You remember what I had on?
I do, because that's when I knew this dude was different. And they were trying to get me to come down, move down, and be the youth pastor there. And I seen you teach. You had a session in the encounter. Yeah. I hit Pastor Mike, God rest his soul, love him to life. Yeah. And I said, that's your youth pastor right there. He got all the ingredients. He funny, he charismatic, and he, look at him. He good looking dude. Like, that's all the ingredients, and he anointed. And then I met your mom and your dad. I'm like, he came from good stock. I was sneaking smoking one time, and your mama caught me.
She caught you?
Not smoking, but she said, she looked at me. She seen it was on me. I promise you, she hit my stomach, and she prayed for me. I threw up all of whatever was in me. I don't know if Miss Brenda Todd remember that.
If you know Mama B, her name is Brenda Todd. If you know Mama B, she will get you. She said, on accident.
She said, oh, son. You know how she do? And she said, when she did like that, oh, son. She said, and she touched me right in here. Yeah. Oh, and then she said, she started praying. I don't know what she said, but I could not go back out and finish the concert because I was throwing up. Y'all don't understand. Jesus got a timeshare in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I'm glad the world get a chance to see it through Transformation Church.
Man, what a blessing, bro. I didn't know that God was going to do it like this, but you know, one of the things that we always said is that if God gave us an opportunity, we was going to take it all the way to the limit. And every time that God was like opening a door, we was just like, okay, if this is the one, then I'm gonna kick it down. And that's what we've been doing since we've been in the hood, man. And God has done exceedingly abundantly above all I could ask, think, or imagine. And I'm humbled, I'm grateful, I'm sober. And I'm here with my dog, bro. Like, you in all black, you got leather pants on. I know. It is phenomenal what's happening in this place right now.
So we got to do an interview. But me and Mike used to go to this little Goodwill in a good neighborhood.
Oh,
it's like a thrift store.
All of the stories.
Because Mike always been flashy and fly. And
I was broke.
Oh, both was broke. Both was broke. I was getting like $1,500 to come down there, and most of it was being like spent on gas and trying to get there. But in any event,
and you was bringing like 5 people with you. Oh,
because I still was neighborhood. Yeah, bring the whole neighborhood to the church.
It would be like 8 dudes pulling up in a minivan, and I'd be like, "What are you? How are y'all eating?"
Rappers.
Oh, they were rapping.
We were still rapping. We took the world mentality and just whipped Jesus on it. No surrender at all.
None. We
were not surrendered. We was just going through Jermaine was, not all of us, we had issues. But I remember we used to sneak and we would go to that little thrift store and get our clothes like tailored. Yep.
Yep.
I still think I got the polo shirt that you gave me. My dad had it on the other day.
Oh.
I came home. I was like, where you get that shirt? Hell, it was in the closet up there. It was in the closet up there. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's the shirt that Mike
But that's
got.
how humble our beginnings were, bro. Like, I remember, like, you being in a spot where I was like, man, I got all these extra clothes that I need to get rid of. And he was like, let me see if I can fit them. And you came over to the crib. You took trash sacks
of clothes from my closet.
And that's where I think that is so beautiful.
Yeah.
For people to understand the process. Yeah. Because this generation is trying to skip the process. And what ends up happening when you skip the process is you miss the value when you get to the promise.
Yes, Lord.
The fact that we're sitting here today, the reason we barely can start this interview, the reason where there's so much gratitude in this room and people looking at us like, why are they bromancing like this?
Like, it was like
it's
that.
like, because for real, because of the process, I can actually be grateful for the promise.
Yeah.
Be grateful that I can actually provide for my family or be able to help somebody in need. Because we know what it is to share clothes. We know what it is to encourage each other when we're about to give up. We know what it is to do those different things, man. So again, for me, this is the highlight of this whole situation I've been doing with this book, because I get to actually see somebody that knows it's real. I'm convincing other people, like, they're like, you ain't never been damaged. You ain't nothing wrong with you. No. And I was like, hey, man, if you only knew where God brought me from, if you only knew the grace that's been on my life, if you only knew, like, how messed up I was and how much of a testimony me being here today is, you would believe too. And that's all I'm trying to do.
It was so much love in Tulsa.
Yeah, bro.
But it was a specific hate for you sometimes with certain people. It was like they were almost afraid to give you a mic.
Yeah.
Because it was like, and I was just like, no, he's kind of the most humble guy I've ever met in my life. And, we can skate over it. But the truth is, I don't know if you remember or not, the reason that I got those clothes, I don't think you remember the words you told me. You said, I got to get rid of some clothes. Every year I get rid of stuff to make room for what God is going to give me next. Yeah. And I had never heard that. Like, I'm a hood guy just really getting into church. So that was like ministering to me. And I think you had like a Land Rover or something. We was riding around in the Land Rover, praying for a Range Rover.
Praying for a Range Rover. Yeah, dog,
but that's another story. So much. Do you still subscribe to getting rid of stuff so God can make room?
I will literally tell you, my team is in here right now. Yeah. What's happening in my closet at this moment, when I left here, is there is 4 people that I've now hired to help me. And when we get back home, we're going to take it to the homeless community. Yeah. I'm getting every year. That's my crazy faith.
Yeah, that's what you do.
I believe in making room for what God's going to do next. And most people are holding on to what they have so tightly that they don't allow God to be able to move and intervene in their situation. I've given away houses. I'm 36 years old. I've given away houses. I've given away cars. I've given away clothes. Nothing in this world matters to me more than being a vessel that God can use. And so a lot of times that means you got to lose some stuff to be able to be used for God's glory. So that's where we at for real.
No, I didn't know if you subscribed to it. I just remembered like that.
No, that's it. That's how we live.
Incubator stage. Like,
that's how we live.
I was like, wait a minute, you getting rid of most of the closet. He was like, yeah, just take that. But you weren't as happy as you look right now. Because I remember he was like, oh God, this. He was like, he was talking to guys. He's like, oh God, this. I was like, God, please, God, please, God, please. He's like, this suit too. Thank you, Jesus. We getting that black one.
The truth of the matter is, I was learning then how to do it. I got too much proof now.
Yeah,
I got too much proof of God's faithfulness when I like move in generosity or I'm His hands and feet, bro. It's like now I don't fight with it. Yeah, like anything that's material, I can get that back in spades. The truth of the matter is, sometimes the hardest thing to let go of is people that you've helped build. Yeah. I now have been leading an organization for 9 years, which that's weird. I've been a CEO for 9 years, like 142 people on staff, 60 people contract, like all this other stuff.
Look at this face. Look at this face.
That's crazy, ain't it?
This is a stupid smile. Do I look goofy right now? Because this is like a giddy smile. I'm so blown away with what God is doing.
We got 3 companies. We've bought over $200 million worth of real estate. Like, it's all kinds of stupid stuff. And then God says, train these people up and then release them. Those are the ones that it's like, well, hold on. Like, this is too big for me to carry. Yeah. And God says, it's not too big for me to carry. So I need you, they were there for a season, they were a partner for a time, and I need you to release them because their destiny is not tied to this, it's tied to something else.
So so can we really like stop there? Because,
let's go.
Because here's the thing, like, and I knew the Lord would bring in the conversation. So for some people, when you have to let them go, that's damage to them because they feel like this being such a safe place, because I know how you gonna pay people. I've never worked for you, but I know your character on how much you did sound when you had all that on the inside of you. So that's why I always go to bat for you when anything ever comes. I'm like, no. He was my sound guy when he had already been 13 years old on the tour with Wayman Tisdale. Like, he took a humble place. But I know people gravitate to you and they hold on to your every single word. You run an organization that's actually having people, by the Spirit of the Lord, fly and move to Tulsa.
Crazy, bro.
What is the process of letting people go?
More Love You More podcast after this.
You know, all relationships start off beautiful. The love is so intense in the beginning until life happens. No matter how disciplined you are, temptation is everywhere. And we all have to fight with our internal monsters. And sometimes we fall into the trap and we hurt the ones we say we love the most. As you get older, loved ones pass away and you're left to live life with a void that you never really anticipated. For some reason, people never talk about the parts of you that die when your loved one leaves the earth. It's so easy to lose who you are in the midst of all of this. I lost myself because I forgot to love myself. I'd like to take you on a journey in hopes that you can learn how to love you more.
Wow. To check out the first episode, log on to loveyoumore.com.
But I know people gravitate to you and they hold on to your every single word. You run an organization that's actually having people, by the Spirit of the Lord, fly and move to Tulsa.
Crazy, bro.
What is the process of letting people go?
The truth of the matter is you have to realize that everything's about seasons. Mm-hmm. And I've found that, and people know that, but a lot of people don't realize that they look stupid when they're wearing a winter coat in the summer.
Facts.
They're relationally wearing winter coats in people, and they're holding on to things that they should be shedding. And I've just realized that if I don't let it go, it becomes a weight. Everything that you hold on for too long to becomes a weight. And the truth of the matter is, it's not if you can hold it up, it's how long you can hold it up. So right now, this cup does not weigh much. But if I have to hold it here for 10 days, it's going to get real heavy. Yeah. Not that it's not able to be held now, but it's how long. And a lot of people are holding relationship, hands trembling, hands shaking, about to spill over and really cause a mess. Yeah. And God's saying, let it go. And that would be my encouragement to people, but you have to be spirit-led by that. Yeah. And so I tell people all the time, like partnerships, I just did a message back at my church. I said the departure of partnerships, because a lot of people don't know how to end partnerships well. And there are three main reasons why you end a partnership. Number one is the season changes. Yeah. Number two, if you see the same cycle and it's not for your future. Yeah. So a lot of people see the same cycle and they'll be like, but that's my man. And I promise you, I told her I was going to love him forever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's almost like his toxic trait is my drug. Like that whole and so it's like, all right, you're going to keep getting jacked up because you keep sensing that same cycle and it may be time to depart. And another reason is you may need to depart because somebody does not understand that a storm is coming. Yeah. And my life is my purpose is too big. I know that, I'll say it like this. I stopped counting my successes from win to win. My success is from storm to storm. Yes, yeah. Because that means I'm doing something. I'm going towards something. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people, they run from storms. But I found out that the buffalo is the only animal that runs into the storm. Yeah. It literally runs into the eye of the storm because if it gets in the middle of it, the storm lasts a lot less and it doesn't get hit by the worst parts, which are on the outskirts. Yeah. And people may need to have some relational departures because of that. And the last one is super deep, and I'm a pastor, so I'm going to say it. The other reason that you may need to depart from a relationship is because the Spirit says so.
Oh, that's so real.
And the truth of the matter is, it may look perfect. It may be right. It may make fiscal sense. It may be everything. And God's like, yep, you're done with them. And you're like, hold on. They look good. We make money together. This is like, what are you talking about? He said, but I see the future. Yeah. You don't. You don't understand that this season is about what you think it's about, but this season is for another season. Yeah. And if you don't listen to me now, all right, you can handle that when it gets there. And I've just learned, man, I'm not going to fight with God on something that he's telling me to do. And so that's where I'm at, man. So when you think about departures and you speak to it in such a fluent manner, like, which is like highly encouraging, what was the situation where you had to literally take the medicine that you're giving to the people now? Well, you already know I can't preach nothing I ain't lived out. Yeah. Like nothing. Yeah. So, I mean, I'll just go back. Let me take it all the way back since people don't know the full story. First year into being the pastor of Transformation Church, I lost my entire staff. I remember that. I'm literally sitting there. I don't know what to do. Graphics person, praise and worship leader. You too young. I'm 26. He's like, he's too young. Yeah, and I lost everybody. It's me and one person and a part-time person. I used to walk them halls, literally talking to invisible people. Hey, John. What's up, Sally? How are the kids, Jake? Just trying to keep myself encouraged, bro. Yeah. But I learned in that season that the departure of all of the people that I love, I thought these people was going to be with me forever. The departure was on purpose because I needed to know I was called if nobody else was. And y'all want to holler, y'all can holler if you want to. I felt the spirit go. I felt the quicken in the audience, right? But the truth of the matter is a lot of times we're only in a place as confident as we are because of the community we have. If you stripped away everything, you would not have that courage. Yeah. And I needed to know, God needed me to know for what I was coming up against and where the territory I was going to take, that I had to know if everybody left, I was called to it. Yeah. And so for me, it was one of the most beautiful things that happened that sucked in the moment. Yeah. But now, that's why when people talk about the spit hitting the fan and people losing and followers going, I don't care nothing about nobody leaving. Yeah, when you did that, I know your little brother in there. Yeah, Brand. I said, you done spit on Brand. Bro, why the hell did we spit on Brand? But I was like, he's in the moment. So here's the thing. You know me, in the front of the public, I was like, I'm on the radio, I'm everybody. Y'all don't know him. That's my dog. I appreciate y'all tripping. Put the camera on, let me talk to my people. Willie Moore Jr. here. And of course, I went there. I said, but if I get with him, I'm going to say, we not gonna spit on nobody else ever. You had me out here looking crazy as hell. Hey. I was like, I know what he meant to do. What you didn't get the word, but we not spitting on nobody else. So the truth of the matter is, I'm gonna say no more spit. Praise no more Jesus. Spit. Okay, everything else is good. But let me say this. Number one, it's the actual example Jesus did. I know it. And so the problem with this is it brought up something cultural that I think was my point. Yeah. And since we here and the Love You More podcast, and I think we can go here. Off of okay, yeah. I think we could go here. Yeah. The truth of the matter is most people are concerned about what their process of getting healed looks like. Mm-hmm. So they're not willing to go through the mess to be able to actually get their own healing. Yeah. That was the example. It was literally like that guy in the story, he was blind, not deaf. Yeah. So if Jesus is about to spit, he could hear it. He chose to stay there through the mess to be able to receive something nobody could give him his entire life. And if you pull that into your real situation, most people won't go through the mess of counseling. Most people won't go through the mess of actually admitting what they've gone through. And the truth of the matter is, a lot of people are still walking around blind. What? Because they're concerned about, that's nasty. I think of a lot of things people do with spit that is nasty, Willie. The truth of the matter is, yes, Lord. Come on. If we talking right. If we talking, I thought this was the Love You More podcast. Yeah. The truth of the matter is, what would you be willing to go through to receive your healing? Most people would not go through it because of what other people would think. And so you walking around your whole life blind because you don't want somebody that you don't know to think something about you. Forget all that. How did you mentally bounce back and not allow the damage of that? Because I looked up that morning, man of God, and it was on CNN. It was everywhere. I said, oh God, we made it to see. Because I want you to understand, I'm that friend. Yeah. Oh, I'm the friend. We made it. I'm so mad.
don't tell me, okay? Because I'm mad. I'm mad, more mad than he is if it's an issue, because I'm just like, no, you don't know him. You don't know him. I'm that guy. And I said, oh, Lord, it's on CNN. Oh, God, it's on such and such.
Yeah.
And then I said, but how's it, how's his heart?
Yeah.
Like is somebody there to talk? And so I called and I was like, he's probably getting a lot of calls right now, so he probably not gonna do it. How did you not allow this damage to destroy what you were doing? Because the next week it seemed like you was just.
So are we gonna be hot, like humble, open, and transparent?
No, we're gonna be honest, open, and transparent.
Okay, here we go. That's okay. So we got the hots.
Yeah, we got the hots.
So number one, it was the first time that I recognized our platform had grown to the place it had grown to.
Yeah.
Because when you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, you just doing your thug thizzle and just making it happen and moving. I'm in Tulsa, bro. So if it go, it go. If it don't, it don't. I'm at the house with my wife and we loving life. Like, you know what I'm saying?
No idea.
And so I have no idea what it is. This is the first time I found out that people were watching that knew the intent and people were watching that had different intents.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful for me to find this out. Number two is it hurt. Like being real, it hurt because I had done so many great things for our community, and they picked something that was like, we gave $8 million away 2 months before.
On a Sunday.
Not one news article.
Really?
$8 million. Like, we paid people's tuitions. We canceled people's school loans. We bought cars for people. Not one, not white or black. No media covered it. So then this comes up and it's like everybody like, we got him. We got him. And that's how it felt. Thankfully, I had been doing my work. I had been in counseling. I had community. So literally, I go to sleep, TMZ, my friends is calling, and I shut my phone off at 8 o'clock on Sunday night because I Sabbath.
Yeah.
And I'm not even doing so. Yeah. My chief of staff called me. He's like, "How's Mike doing?" She calls Natalie. He's like, "How Mike doing?" He's like, "He's fine. He's laying there." She's like, "Has he heard?" And heard what? And it's like, he on TMZ. He's on da 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 da. And I'm thinking, glory to God. The message is out. Yeah, I'm thinking like God's taking it to another level.
Oh, shout out.
Because anything that's gone viral before, it's been positive.
Yeah.
And so, in that moment, God was like, I'm about to teach you something. I'm like, okay. And bro, I start seeing this stuff. Negroes I ain't never heard from start calling me, brother, we praying for you. We standing. And it's like, what is going on? Yeah. And the Holy Spirit said, shut your phone off.
Yeah.
I need to talk to you. They're going to talk, but then I need to talk to you and remind you of who you are. By that next morning, we was on a flight to Napa. Me, my wife, and a couple that's accountability that goes through everything with us. And I was sitting on the back porch overlooking the vineyard, and I was worshiping and I was praying and I was thinking about everything. And I was like, God, what is this? He said, I'm making you right now.
Yes.
You asked me to raise your influence. I'm making you right now. Mm-hmm. Trust me in this. And I'm like, well, this don't feel good. Like, right. This don't feel like, why wouldn't they write about the $8 million? Why wouldn't they write about us helping people? Yeah. No. He said, I'm making you right now. And I said, God, show me something. For 6 days, I'm sitting on this balcony, and I've never been to a vineyard before. So this is my first time to a vineyard. And I'm watching, it's January, and these people are going out, and they, when a vineyard, I'm thinking it's going to be lush with grapes, and it's got leaves and all that, and it's just gray sticks just in a row. But people are coming out every morning at 6 a.m., and they cutting on them and making sure they tied up right and all this other stuff. And then I read John, and it says
You read John in the vineyard?
In the vineyard, bro. I can't make this stuff up. It got to be God. I'm sitting there and I'm reading John, and it says, the branches that produce fruit, God cuts them back. Mm-hmm. He prunes them so they can produce much more fruit. Bro, I feel chills now. Bro, I haven't really told this except in the book, but what God was saying is, you asked me for this.
Yeah.
And you don't know how I'm going to get your name in other people's mouth. I had to use adversity, and I had to use persecution, and I had to use, because that's the language of the day. But Michael, I did something that didn't take anything away from your character. He said, this wasn't you cheating on your wife. This wasn't you taking nobody's money. This wasn't you. He said, I'm making you right now. Mm. And bro, I sat there and I had to make sure the venom was out of my heart. Because you know me, Willie, I'm a fighter.
Yeah, we're going to fight.
I'll go to every comment. I'll go to Jesus Man 212 and I will ride you until, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I wanted to do. But God said, this is going to prove you truly walk with me.
Yeah.
And bro,
how you respond?
By Saturday, that venom was out of me. Mm-hmm. I had cussed and yelled and said it wasn't fair and prayed and worshiped. And God said, you ready to show them how it's done? Mm-hmm. You ready to walk out of here and show them how you maturely handle this, how you don't back down from pressure? All my team was like, you don't got to preach Sunday. I said, there's a whole generation waiting for me to show them how you respond to adversity.
Jeez.
And I showed up that next Sunday morning and the sermon series happened to be already planned. Here is holy.
Here is holy.
You already know, bro.
Right here.
You already know, bro. Boy. And God told me, he said, where you're standing is holy ground.
Yes, Lord.
In the midst of this adversity, while people are literally bashing you and they don't know you, this is holy. And bro, because of my community, my counseling, my beautiful wife, and the word that God already spoke to me, he told me, he said, Michael, they think you're damaged, but you're not destroyed. The crazy thing about it, this book that I just wrote was done.
Oh, this was already done?
Done. I had to go back.
And you had to put a new...
I had to go back because what God was showing me, he had already told me to write this book. He had already told me, and now he said, I'm going to give you empirical data. I'm going to put you on display in front of everybody after you already got the message, and then you're going to use it. The next time they see you in Target, Barnes & Noble, Amazon, all that other stuff, they going to think they know what this book is about. But this is what you've been walking through your entire life. You're damaged, but you're not destroyed. I'm going to show you how to go from trauma to triumph.
No, that's real.
And that's why I'm here, bro.
So, quick question. I just want to kind of preface this. In Tulsa, to be honest, nobody's expecting this guy to be this guy out of Tulsa. I remember when Bishop McIntosh says, hey, why don't you come down, go to Bible college, and, you know, I'm like, okay, we're doing discipleship in Tulsa, and it's on, let's go, you know what I mean? And I remember telling my wife at the time, like, yo, we're going to go to Tulsa. She was like, we going where? I was like, we're going to Tulsa. We're going to Tulsa. He's like, we're not going to Tulsa. It just so happened to be like, you couldn't go to that college unless, if you're married, you had to bring you had to bring your spouse with you. Because y'all love Jesus in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Some people do.
Well, Greenwood did. Let's just say that.
Most of them
Miracle signs and wonders were there when I arrived, man of God. And so I was looking at it, I'm just like, oh man, it's going to be big. It's going to be big. And I just know that you guys, and there's no disrespect to my friends in Tulsa, it's a very wholesome, small town type of feel.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like this huge city where everybody don't know each other. You can get everywhere in 15 minutes, 12 minutes. Every high school know each other. Like, and then you married a hometown girl.
Yeah. My wife is from Anadarko, Oklahoma.
Exactly. I remember something like that. I was like, where's she from? She's like, from Anadarko.
They made a good thing.
Come on. They did.
Hey,
they did. And y'all been fly for a long time.
It's been a long time. We've been married. This will be our 14 years married this year.
What support did you offer Natalie in the midst of the expansion that God was doing? Because I know there comes a time in marriage where it's like, I didn't really ask for all of
None of it.
Because if she posts something that's looking a little fishy, it's like, oh, but did you see what his wife did? Yeah. So the mantle that's on your life becomes oil on her life and oils her mantle, and she gets under the spotlight too. Yeah. As a husband, how do you support her and protect her from the woes that comes with this particular platform?
So the first thing I did when I became the pastor is I got up on the stage and I said, she's not y'all first lady. I said, she's mine.
I like that.
I just told him straight up.
Bars.
I said, she will not be running your women's ministry. She will do what nobody else can do here. She will take care of me and our family. And at the time, we only had one child. But God saw fit. He knew I needed to do that because of the trials and tribulations we would face. Our next child, our son MJ, he would have autism. And anybody knows that if you have a special need child, number one, that's like 2 or 3 kids. And number 2, in the Black community, we don't know what to do with that. Yeah. Like, what do you do? Like, and I'm the crazy faith man.
Praise God.
And now my child has autism and is peeing and pooping on himself till he's 6 years old. And I mean, it sent my wife into depression. And so as everything is going up like this, everything in my personal life is going like this. And see, this is why I'm saying, like, people don't know what it's like to actually have a call of God on your life, you cannot get up there and just say stuff. You got to go through it. And that's where people is like, they just up there doing like, maybe somebody is, but not over here. This is real. When I'm talking about believing God, when I'm talking about actually walking in faith, when I'm talking about like trusting, when I'm talking about giving your last, those are not cliche statements. Like, I've been around people who manipulated. I've been around people who've done that stuff. I can't stand that stuff. So when I'm saying something, when I'm bearing my soul, when I'm being vulnerable, it's from a place of authenticity. Like, I don't got nothing else. Like, this is all I got. And so, like, this whole time, I protected my wife by not putting church expectations on her and really actually allowing us to grow into whatever God wanted us to be. The truth of the matter is, after all of this is gone, I'm going to be with her.
Right.
So, Transformation Church, I love them. I love Natalie Moore.
What have you learned most about yourself in this particular marriage?
I'm strong because I can change.
So do you rush her to change?
Nope.
And so how do you not outrun the pace of grace as it pertains to your wife, though?
So the truth of the matter is, I say no to a lot of stuff because she's not ready for it.
How do you not be resentful? Because I know some of this stuff is like, go talk to at Nelson Mandela's house on the west side of Africa.
Yeah, because she's worth it. Like, the truth of the matter is, my greatest investment is not in anything that produces popularity or more resources. It's in her. When I get to the end of my life, those kids and my wife will be my greatest success story. And the truth of the matter is, I've just watched, number one, I got to shout out my parents. I've watched my dad. I've watched my dad love my mom from the back seat for 44 years.
Carry the speaker.
My dad, I mean, got more degrees than a thermometer and all that stuff, but my mom was the one that was more out front with the ministry.
More Love You More podcast after this.
You know, all relationships start off beautiful. The love is so intense in the beginning until life happens. No matter how disciplined you are, temptation is everywhere. And we all have to fight with our internal monsters. And sometimes we fall into the trap and we hurt the ones we say we love the most. As you get older, loved ones pass away and you're left to live life with a void that you never really anticipated. For some reason, people never talk about the parts of you that die when your loved one leaves the earth. It's so easy to lose who you are in the midst of all of this. I lost myself because I forgot to love myself. I'd like to take you on a journey in hopes that you can learn how to love you more.
Wow. To check out the first episode, log on to loveyoumore.com.
My dad, I mean, got more degrees than a thermometer and all that stuff, but my mom was the one that was more out front with the ministry. My dad, I've watched him carry his manhood and lay down everything to make sure his wife succeeds.
And I watched it too. I concur.
And so there was something in me that was like, bro, this is rare. Like, I haven't seen this. And so it's in my blood. And then when I saw that God gave me a wife on purpose, she balances me to a place where I'm greater. Like, my engine is go, 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 go. Like, and I can do it. Like, the world has never seen me run. They've only seen me jog.
You remember you called and told me the word, because you know when you call, you excited. Yo, so I got the word for the year. Listen, God doesn't want us to outrun the pace of God's grace. He's wanting us to walk. He doesn't want us to run. He wants us to walk. And at this time, I'm running.
Oh, you
I'm
was
booked
going
Thursday,
crazy.
Friday, Saturday, radio, TV. Let's get it. Go. And then he calls. I'm just like, I know Mr. Go is about to give me the word that I need to keep going. Don't outrun, bro. The pace of God's grace. I was like, praise Jesus.
Praise Jesus. Click.
Get your butt out of here. I don't want to hear this.
Bro.
But I'm seeing the fruit of that word now, that God can do more
with less.
Without less.
But the truth of the matter is, again, that's where my wife comes in. I cancel everything. I go from release relationship goals. Some girl posted on Twitter, 2 million people watch it in 48 hours. My Instagram goes from 4,000 people to 200,000. Our YouTube goes from 1,800 subscribers because my mom and her friends would watch it. There was only 22 views and 1,800 subscribers to over 250,000 in 30 days. Like everything's blowing up. Every conference that I ever wanted to speak at or go to, they're asking me to speak at. All this stuff is happening. And then God says, cancel all of 2019. Cancel it all.
At the peak of it.
I'm talking about Australia, Africa, everything. I'm about to see the world. And God was like, cancel it all. Your wife is depressed and she needs you now or you're going to lose her.
Man.
I was with my brother Brent, the one I spit on. And
I love Brent too.
That's my dog.
I seen Brent. He took it like a G. Brent, you took it like a man.
That's my dog.
Like,
that's the third time I did that, Willie. Like, that wasn't even the first time.
I would have been kicking and whooping you
but
afterwards.
the truth of the matter is, it got the point across. But what I'm saying
the word
is...
of God did go forth.
It did go forth.
Yeah.
Bro, I canceled out my entire 2019 calendar.
Wow.
From July into December. And I have a video recording of it. I said, I'm laying all of this down because I want my wife. I want her to be whole. And we did intensive counseling, bro. We was in Colorado every month for 5 days, 5 hours of counseling every day. Like, it was ridiculous, but it was so necessary for our healing. And we walked through that season, bro. And in the midst of that season, that's when we got this big old building that we bought and paid off in 5 months. God brought me home so that I would be ready to get a home.
God brought you home so you can get...
we were doing 5 services. So many people would come and it was killing me. I was like, bro, I need a bigger space. We got to do something. People lined up off the highway. They
was lined up off the highway.
Lined up off the highway for 5 services, bro. It was crazy. So what ended up happening was on the other side of town, in the richest rent district in our city, the second richest rent district in our city, the city of Bixby had built this huge arena in the back of this complex. And they built it for $54 million. And the Holy Spirit told me that's our building. I went in there. They said it wasn't for sale. I said, all right, well, don't try nothing else. This is our building. They went to close with another company. It fell through on that day. They called me and they said, do y'all still want that building? We went and walked through it for the first time, put the earnest money down, bought the building after I had canceled everything. We bought it for $10.5 million and paid it off in 5 months.
Man, do you realize the numbers we talking about right now from shopping at the Goodwill?
It's
wild. Casually talking $10 million at this point. What?
Wild.
Look what God did, bro. That's all I keep saying.
That's it. But it truly is what he did. But the truth of the matter is, until I took the faith step to do less, God said, I cannot do more until you do less.
How do you not be pissed at the height? Because here's the thing.
Yeah.
Mike dropping the fourth wall. You're a different guy now. I will say that.
Yeah.
But in the early stage, Mike wanted to get, you still
I wanted to do it.
I gotta get it.
Yes.
I gotta get it. We used
that's
to talk
the only
about
way I saw it.
Like, but you had no art in that Colorado time. It was just like.
The truth of the matter is, this is the beauty of transformation.
The beauty of transformation. KD, we gotta do better.
This is the beauty of transformation. Just like this sweater goes to a gradient, the purple is the least part of this sweater. It goes from blue, you see a lot of pink, but this purple is very, very, very important to the gradient. That's what I was going through.
Did he just preach his sweater?
Stop it. All I'm saying is a lot of people would say, what color is this sweater? And somebody would say blue and somebody would say pink. I see the purple.
I gotta learn
because it's the transition. It's the transition. The transformation that makes it be like, oh, I like that. If this wasn't here, it would make the whole thing look off. If this color was black, it would be different. But it was the transformation, that little piece, and that's what I was in, bro. I was becoming something. And a lot of people have wings, but they refuse to let go of the legs of the caterpillar. And I just said, I don't want to be here no more. I don't want to keep crawling around when I could fly. And so that meant I had to let go of something that I knew so that I could get something that I didn't really know. And that's why you trust God. That's why the Bible says we walk by faith and not by sight. I can't do this. I know how to use my legs. I know how to use my wit. I know how to use my charm. I know how to use my music. I know how to use my marketing skills. But trust in God? And he was like, you took a bet on me? I never fail.
What? I wish y'all would yell in here. All right. So, okay, cool. Whew. All right, so literally I was supposed to play a video. Not gonna get to the video because we got right into it.
Hey, we just gonna have to, I'm gonna have to come back. You know we can do this.
Yeah, like, okay. I just hadn't called him. Maybe we should have talked on the phone first. But look, here's the thing. So here's the thing. Many of you are right now, I know that you may be in the trauma stage. And I just believe that sometimes when a person goes through all of the things that Mike has gone through, I think sometimes you see the top of the mountain and you miss the opportunity to see how beautiful the journey was. And I'm thankful at this time that you're choosing to say, hey man, you know what? It has not always been this beautiful bed of roses. Yeah. And I thank you for dropping the fourth wall. Like, you don't know how to be anything but 100. So I can only imagine like the information that's in this book. If there was, I didn't get an opportunity to read it, but by tomorrow, because I am a super duper speed reader, by tomorrow, I will definitely have a deep dive in it. What do I have to look forward to? And I'm going to give you what I've been through. Yeah. And you just let me know, maybe in a small microcosm type of way. Yeah. I was adopted. I had never met anybody in my biological family until 2020. And I lived in my imagination. I wanted to be a musician because I wanted to show my biological mother what she missed out on. I struggled with codependency. I predicated my decisions based upon solely if I would get a reaction and a response from people. So if Pretty Willie made a song called Lay Your Body Down and people look, well, that's the way that I'm supposed to go. If I sign with Warner Brothers for $1.2 million and I make some money, well, yay, they love me. Another dopamine hit. And then if I get saved, because of the platform that I had, they pushed me right up on stage. Thank God for Tulsa being able to walk with you and Pastor Mike and not just have to have the dopamine hit. But every Sunday when we do a Young Fly Save movement and everybody's got their hand up, I got another dopamine hit. And it got so exhausting that I needed to surrender, literally save, but not surrender to Jesus at all. Like really following my own will. And so now I meet my biological family, man. And everything that I thought that I was negatively, that I had to fight, I realized that it was in my family. So I realized that alcoholism was chasing me, womanizing was chasing me. All of these things were chasing me and I was toying with it. And so now I'm on this beautiful journey of recovery and I'm in a beautiful place, close to wholeness, living a life of surrender, but there's still a small inkling on the inside of me to say, maybe this part is damaged, that I'm still going through some of this trauma. What will this book do for me?
The truth of the matter, thank you for sharing that, bro, because I wrote this book for Black men. I don't say that out loud like that, but the truth of the matter is we've not seen it. And it's hard to be what you haven't seen. And for me, I hadn't seen men talk about molestation or being not being picked when you were good or going through very hard situations and how you actually surrender that to God. That's what this whole book is about.
I love it.
So what this book is going to do to you is going to do three things. Number one, it's going to let you know you're not alone. Amen. The person you're sitting across from, I feel the same thing. Not the same situation, but the same thing. Number two, it's a sign of your greatness. Because everybody that God used in the Bible was damaged. Find me one person that God did not use or God used that was perfect. Not Abraham, not Moses, not David, nobody. The only one was Jesus. And he showed us how to do it. And he said, y'all ain't even got to do it perfect. Just believe in me and I'll deal with your damage. And the third thing that you're going to find in this book is hope. Because no matter how damaged you are, the value is still in you. Let me tell you a quick story. You already know I got four brothers. It's 5 Todd boys. And you know all of them are big. Like they all huge.
They all look like linemen and they could knock you out. Even the youngest one.
Even the youngest one. Yes, he's huge. And so my mom, you know, they've been missionaries and traveling ministers since I can remember. So that means either, you know, they have money or they don't. Like that's like if somebody decided to bless them with something, but they lived by faith. So you got 5 boys at home. My mom is a master chef. And what she would do is she would go to the grocery store, Warehouse Market, and she would go to this aisle. I don't even know if they have them anymore because everybody Uber Eats and all this other stuff. But they used to have this aisle called the dent and damaged aisle. And what she would do is she would go to the dent and damaged aisle and she would get these containers that had dents in them and these boxes where the label was ripped off of them and all of these different nicks and scratches, and they were discounted. People didn't see the value in them. But she took what she had and she went there and she would pick them up and we wanted name brand stuff. And she's like, you ain't getting no Fruit Loops. These is Fruitios and the bag is open. You know what I'm saying? Like, but she would take it home and she would put it together and she would put some seasoning on it and she would put fire on it. And it would turn into one of the best meals we had ever had. I feel like that's what God's doing in this season with people. Yeah. He's taking people who are dented and damaged and scratched and scarred, people who have passed, people who made mistakes, so they willingly did it. And now they're dealing with the consequences. And he's putting a little fire on them.
Gotta do it.
He's actually putting the thing on them that will make them into the greatest version of themselves.
Yeah.
And then he's serving them to people, serving them to the world. That's what this show is.
Glory to God.
This is you having gone through fire and God's saying, your damage is not going to define you. Yeah. You're going to be known for more than that. And it's going to push you actually into destiny. I'll turn your pain into a platform. Yeah. And this is the story of not just my life. It's the story of the life that God wants to give to everybody. And so more than anything, the third thing, you're going to leave encouraged, knowing that the value that God placed on you, no matter what container and it has been scratched on you, the outside, the covering, all that other stuff. Yeah, there's still value on you. Amen. And you can do everything that God's called you to do.
Man, listen, Mike Todd in the building. Come on, make some noise for him, man.
We out here.
Yeah. You know, to get an opportunity, number one, I hope, like my prayer is this, when you know somebody as intimately as I know Mike Todd, my prayer is that with your friends and counterparts, as they continue to grow, man, I hope that you can feel in your heart the type of gratitude and gratefulness that I have. Number one, to see him be who he is now, and just the wholeness that I feel on my heart to know that God can use damaged goods and put people on a platform and choose to expand their territory. It's often said that broken crayons still color.
Yes, sir.
And I believe that we're getting an opportunity to see that through the life of Mike Todd. And the beautiful part is that he gets an opportunity. He put it in a book. And of course, he's a New York Times bestseller. But I think this book is uniquely different than any other books because it literally drops the fourth wall on the beauty of life, but it gives a bird's eye view into some of the ebbs and flows of the ups and downs. You know, many times we say that, you know, you should do this and you should do this through the word of God, and you hear all that and it feels good, but it's not often we get the opportunity to see steps on how to take on what the word of God is saying. And I believe that's what this book is going to do for you. So I want you to make sure that you pick it up, okay? I'm gonna read it tonight. Excited about it. And I just believe it's gonna be a blessing to everybody who does it. But here's the thing, maybe you're not an avid reader. I still want you to go buy it. And let me tell you why. It's always important to sow seed in a vineyard that's actually growing. And you can be a part of the harvest that Transformation has and the harvest that my dear brother Mike Todd has just by sowing into what he's doing. So I'm challenging everybody under the sound of my voice to make sure that you go pick up damaged but not destroyed, from trauma to triumph. That's if you want to live in that triumph, and I'm sure that you do.
Willie, you gotta give him the back cover real quick, okay?
Oh, with the little hair situation?
Hold on. But you gotta understand what that is.
What is that?
So that's me, my dad, my 4 brothers, and my son.
Really?
That's 3 generations of Todds right there.
That's dope.
And the thesis behind it is what's not just transformed is transferred. So if I don't actually deal with my damage, it comes from my dad to me, to my son. What? And a lot of people, that's my son's eye, the 7, but it still looks like me. If you don't deal with your damage, if you can't find it in yourself to deal with your damage, at least for you, do it for the people that you love, because you affect every person around you.
Who did this?
My brother Grayson.
Who thought of this?
Hey, bro, my youngest brother. My youngest brother, he's a creative genius. Grayson, he's a creative genius.
Grayson.
Him and JV, John Vanette, that used to do all of the things. You remember him, he's little, he's huge now, and he's a creative genius. He's a grown man. But he came up with that, and I was
Grayson was so not engaged.
Not at all. Like, he would be at the front until y'all did Young.
Fly. Okay, I like that song.
He liked that song.
But everything else is like this.
I have pictures of him. And he would be right in the front. Like right in the front.
Okay, I like that one.
Yeah.
He did this?
Bro, I'm telling you, man. But it's a picture. That's 3 generations. And that's why I dedicated this book to my grandkids. Because I told them, and my oldest daughter's 10, so I ain't got no grandkids yet. Yeah. But the Bible says a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. I think that's not just cars and houses and money. I think that's emotional health. And for me, I want my grandkids to pick up this book and say, my granddaddy did his work. And so that means I can too.
Man, just subscribe to the channel, leave a comment. Do me a favor. Can we just give him his roses in the comments and just show that love? I'll make sure in the description that I make sure that I put the link to this book. Let's get it. And listen, all y'all look alike. evidently. Because I was like, hey, this all versions of Mike. I just thought you would rip some stuff up, but now I see. Okay, got it.
You see the age on my dad?
Who that? That's daddy cheek?
That's dad's cheek right there. You see what I'm saying?
Who did their beard like that right there, though?
Which
right
one?
at the bottom.
That's my beard.
That's you?
And then that's Raphael's beard on the side.
On the side.
Yes, 5 boys. I'm going to post something of how it all came together, but that's probably one of my favorite pictures in history. Because
you should blow this up and put it in the house.
In the house.
Because I know you're not. I'm sure you have no accomplishments up, huh?
No, not really.
I know you don't. I'm going to blow... I'm gonna blow this up and you're gonna put this in the house.
In the house, okay.
I know you have no awards
it's
up.
It's not about the awards.
I know. I ain't been to your house, but all in the spirit I see that it's nothing in there that says accomplished.
The award for me is when
my wife.
Yeah.
And my children.
Yep.
You and this picture and painting that I'm about to do. Because I'm about to do this and get it framed. And when I come to Tulsa,
bro, don't lie to me.
It will not be in the closet.
You are on your show. If it's 2025 and you ain't come to Tulsa, we gonna fight.
But just like I know you gotta go, you got people. I just gotta go back into the old Greenwood.
Let's go.
And I just want to just worship there for a moment.
Scott got
and
the
then
keys.
We can go. Y'all can, and then I'm gonna come to the blessing.
Bro, we can.
But I just gotta see that stage. I gotta feel that atmosphere.
Morning, day, noon, night. I got the keys. Let's go.
Look at the pastor. Love you, Pastor Gary McIntosh. Love y'all. Sorry we had a bromance in the beginning, I'm sure, but I'm sure you were.
They enjoyed
You enjoyed it, right?
Yeah, they enjoyed it.
Do it. Put it in the comments. Love you, flat out. And it is a wrap. Thank you for watching the Love You More show. I'm so humbled by it. Do me a favor, hit that little notification bell so you can be informed whenever we do some updates right here on this show. Hit subscribe, leave a comment. I'm gonna read every single comment, good or bad, right? Because I believe a good conversation is necessary in order for us to move forward. Thank you for watching the Love You More show. Hey, Stone, come on in. Tell him thank you. Tell him thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, he don't even know what he's thank you for, but thank you for watching the show. Flat out.
Love you more, love you more.